Something else I wanted to sort of add that I hope adds some flavor to everything that I'm trying to do here is I'm looking for more premium to sell, and let me tell you why. Generally, I have a bunch of the proprietary strategies that let me generally give you sort of a good return, a general return series, you know. And then what I look to do with um, options generally is add padding to that, right? Such that my return series becomes a lot more smooth, right? So it becomes more this than this up down, and my return series looks smoother. So I'm looking for padding. Now, this is something you got to know about building a track record. Building a track record is all about this thing right here. You want to know what building a track record's about? And building boxes and boxes, right? Or I'm building a grid. A grid basically becomes what your whole universe becomes. And it's basically coming towards the end of the month. What are you going to put in that box? Right? So if you want to know about building an actual track record, this is what it's about right here. Your world will revolve around what number goes in that box at the end of the month. These are basically little, I'm just sort of illustrating this here with a little picture here for you. But it's what number goes in this box, right? Is it 1.3? Actually, that needs to be a little bigger. For some reason that's stuck. It's not responding. But the what you see when I've shown you those CoQuest things, CoQuest traders and Barclay Hedge and IASG and any one of a number of them, it's all about the number you put in that box, really, And if you look through those, which I recommend everyone do, look through those, you're going to see plenty of red as well, right? You're going to see some negative numbers. There's something called absolute return. Basically, your whole thing becomes, what does my end of month look like? And then you build another one. What does the end of that month look like? And then what does the end of that month look like? And then what does the end of that month look like? That basically becomes your world. Okay? Now, I've set things up so I know I've got my proprietary strategies, right, that give me the bump, and then I bump it with options. I'm also doing something a little more involved, because not only do I have, these proprietary strategies, which are good, and then I pad it with options. I'll tell you right now, most people do not have the discipline to do this because they think in terms of absolute returns. There's two ways to think about returns. You can think about absolute returns or target. I think in terms of target any longer, right? It's just made my life so much easier. So if I have that return series, and I've got a point with saying all of this, believe it or not. So if I've got that return series of what I know the proprietary historically strategies can do, and then I'm basically trying to pad that and make it much more smooth because it's the proprietary strategy plus the options, right? Smooths the whole thing out. Well, then once in any given month I get to 2.88%, I stop trading. I cut it all. It doesn't matter what position is where, and most people do not have the discipline to do that. And then this month, oh, look, it's 2.88%. I just stopped trading. Maybe I stopped trading here, and the end of the month is actually right here. Maybe the end of this month is right here. Maybe the end of this month is right here, right? I know if I didn't cut it short, what those strategies would do. That's very important. What I'm describing right here requires a bit of work. You have to know what everything's capable of doing. If I didn't cut it short, it still looks like an amazing return series. But I can make it look a little bit better because once it gets to a certain goal, like right here, I just stop. Right? I don't wait for the end of the month. Or right here, I just stop. Because then you don't run into situations like, where you're up in the month and then all of a sudden the whole thing just collapses on you. Oh, if I would have just gotten out, right? Well, this is something mechanical, and what it does is it returns it makes a return series instead of looking very good, but like, more like this. If you get out at a set percentage, your return series looks sick, and people are going to be asking you how you do that. Generally, I don't tell a lot of people this, but even it's out there. It's not just me that's doing this, and somebody else was talking about this long before I was. But most people, I don't worry about it as well being out there because most people just don't have the discipline to do it. They just want to keep going. That greed gets them. So I say all of that to say that generally, I like to sell because I know my strategies, which was sort of the first point that I made. And I am looking for more premium to sell. I look to sell generally around $5.50 worth of option premium, right? Anybody that might be seeing this, if you're new, you got to multiply that by 100, right? That's $550 times however many contracts, right? So I'm just saying on a one contract basis, right? So, I didn't sell only one strangle of Facebook, right? But I'm just saying if you equalized everything down to just one contract per, it equals out to about $550, right? And if I can sell $550 on top of my proprietary strategies, I can get maybe to that. Not every month. I'm not going to get to 2.88 every month. It's just not going to happen. I think in, what month was that? Was that April? I returned only 15 basis points, right? But it's still black. And that grid, you want black. Black is good. Absolute return series are still good. I mean, if you look through those things, you're going to see a lot of red, right? A lot of negative months. However, I'm not going the absolute return route, which is perfectly viable. I'm doing something a little bit different. So I know what mine looks like if I don't quit. Just sort of quit at 2.88. So basically, I'm looking for more premium to sell. Now, when you look at the premium I've sold thus far, right? And if we equalize it all out to one contract, because that's what I'm going to do here. We sold the QQQ call for what, 88 cents? So, or 90 cents plus commission, so that's like 88 cents. So we're going to say 88 plus, let me think, how many of those did we sell? So the IWM strangle, I think I sold it for $1.84. So if you equalize that out, right, that's 100 with the commissions, that's like $181. But remember, I usually take half of that. That increases my accuracy rate. So it's not actually $181 when you can commissions. It's more like $90. The STX put we sold for what, 18 cents. So with commissions, that's the cash cover put. That's like 16 cents. And then we sold Facebook. It was one in the 80s. So that's like, I think when you equalize it out and then you remember, that was a strangle. So if we sold that strangle, right, at $1.80, remember I don't keep $180. I'm not holding it till expiration. I'm increasing my accuracy rate by getting out of it. Generally at 21 days. Sometimes that's about 50% of what you took in. So that's more like another $90, right? So I'm up to 284, right? And I want 550. So I need to sell more. Now, my proprietary strategies could come to the rescue, but I don't like relying on that. I've got a set amount of premium I like to sell every single month. So that's why I'm looking for more. I generally don't play around with earnings at all. So I was looking at Roku, and there's something else I said that I want to sort of delineate what I meant by it. I said I don't want to sell just a bunch of strangles. Well, I mean, when I said that, I mean I don't want to sell a bunch of strangles just in stock, right? Because then I'm too correlated. So in other words, if I sell a strangle in I don't know, IWM, and then I sell a strangle in Facebook, right? Well, the problem, that's not a problem, right? That's only two. Um, but the problem here is then I've got basically two sort of stock things. They're different. They're one's a tech, one, social media. One's more smaller cap stuff, but it's stock. You know what I mean? So if stocks take a dump, then both of these strangles are going to be heading the same. It's too correlated. You know what I mean? They're both going to be taking a dump in the same direction. And I'm going to have to worry about managing both the same way. So what I want is a different thing. So I don't mind selling maybe another strangle, right? If it's something not correlated to stocks. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to leave the impression that it's like, well, two strangles is, that's too many strangles. I try not to have too many strangles, but it's both stock. So I would be looking for more stuff like in, I don't know, like maybe in oil. Even I could do a stock, something like that, or gold or silver, or maybe if I can find an agricultural ETF. Of course, there's not really options of sold. But do you see what I mean? I want to do something just a tad different. Or I could get directional. Then I wouldn't be in a strangle. I could be maybe looking to sell spreads in, a stock I think is just overdone, and make a directional bet, right? Because that's not a strangle. So I'm still looking. I think I've sold something like 250 to maybe, it depends on what I can get out of it, maybe 369 worth, and I want it more around 550. So I need something like 250 to maybe 180 more in premium, and I'm still looking. Right, so it's just a matter of just searching through, seeing what I find. USO. Oh, USO. I think they've sort of maybe fixed some of their issues. Problem with oil is oil on a directional basis front month can be wildly volatile, probably more volatile than anything else that you can get involved in. So that sort of is like, I don't know about oil. I could sell a strangle there. I could sell a skewed strangle. In other words, sell if I think it's gonna fall. I could sell maybe the 10 deltas, and then I don't know, maybe something further out. But it just depends. Maybe the 6 deltas. I don't know. But just to let you know, I am looking to sell more, and that's why. USL doesn't generally have a lot. Gold, and there's something else that you should know about strangles, especially the way that I do strangles and the way I like strangle in gold, which basically means what? You don't want gold to really move, right? I had a strangle on last month in gold. I forget what the IV rank was. The IV rank was high enough, so I thought, okay, I'm going to sell it. You can have it move, and you still made money. Right? I think it was like right here. It was after a big move. Like, if you're selling a strangle, you don't want it to move. Remember, you're waiting for the volatility to contract. You're waiting for theta to bleed away. You can definitely sell something and make a big move afterward. You're going to have to suffer a little bit of a drawdown inside the trade, but then come out of the trade with a winner. Right? So maybe something like gold. I'd look to sell the strangle. You can have two people with two different assumptions on the same underlying. Like one guy's bullish gold and one guy's neutral gold, and they both make money. It just depends on the strategy they're using. Right? So yeah, last month I had a gold strangle on and it made money, even though gold has been on a wild tear. I used to know guys that would make markets back, when that was a little more feasible. Not on GLD. That's not feasible, but more in futures, and they would make markets in a lot of the future stuff and make money shorting every single day, right? They would short. Well, they're not shorting as a market maker, but they would look for points of exhaustion to basically sell the offer and buy the bid, right? So I guess you could say they were shorting in a big uprip. It was just their periodicity, right? So it just depends on the strategy. Sometimes I think newer traders get way too attached to these charts. So anyways, that's what I'm doing. At the moment, I'm just searching, and I don't like to mess around with earnings. Some people can make earnings work very well for them because there's a volatility crush that they exploit. It's just not me. you know, different people are different. Sort of looking at this gold strangle. I'm worried about the downside because if they increase margins on the future side, you know, sort of similar to what we saw in what was that, 2011, you can get a huge smash. But who knows? Maybe I'll play a strangle in gold and try and make some premium there as well. I'm already up well for the month. I think the last I looked, I'm already up 1.4% for the month. So we're cruising. I mean, we're doing quite well. So, you know, I could sell these. If I sell these and I sell about $550 worth of option premium plus my, you know, and I didn't stop trading for the month, it's still a really, really, really good looking return series. Drawdown's less than 1 of its annualized return. So, you know, I'm talking like annualized returns of 17%, and over 13 years, you never see drawdowns near that, which is unheard of. So, yeah, I'm just trying to get a little better performance by quitting once I'm up, and just walking away, and then you can put a nice little black number in that box, linear return series, and it's much easier to trade that way too. You get to go live your life. So, anyways, I know I told you I was going to show you what I'm sort of in the middle of and what I'm doing, and I thought I would just sort of not just show the trades I'm putting on, but the thinking behind a lot of my processes. All right, hope that helps you out, buddy, and hope you're having a good one. Talk to you.